So I am coming on today to work on a DIY project, super easy. I have these pieces on hand, but I think that you could find something similar even just going to the hardware store, or if you're handy at all, you could build it. I'm sorry that our air conditioner literally just turned on and it is super loud, so hopefully you can still hear me. Also, I'm outside and it's super hot, so if I'm just drenched in sweat, I apologize ahead of time. So basically what I'm making today is an outdoor solar light for, like a solar light feature for our landscaping. My mom gave me this column. It's just a wooden column. I really think even I could build something like this, maybe not with like the edges that come out like this, but just any sort of a decorative box like that. Anyway, my mom gave it to me. She wasn't going to use it, and so I thought I would take it and do something with it. And when I was out walking in our neighborhood, I've noticed that a couple people have like little lanterns or things like that in their landscaping. I thought it was cool, and it occurred to me that I could use this for that. So this came, and then also this piece was in it. It was in the bottom. I think more to keep it, like maybe to have decorative flowers in it or something like that, just to keep them from falling out. But I am instead going to put it on top, and I'm going to mount this solar light on it. So the first thing, I already painted this because I wanted it to dry before I mounted the light. But the first thing that I'm gonna do is just paint the outside of this column. So I wiped it all down with a paper towel. I'm not getting crazy because it's an outdoor thing, and you could do all sorts of things to this to make it last. You could stain it, you could prime it, you can poly coat it. I'm not gonna get carried away. It's wood. Wood really absorbs paint nicely because it's not, there isn't like a shiny finish on this. So I think the paint will be fine out in the elements. And if it's not, I can always repaint it. It's not a big deal. So I am just using Rust-Oleum Painter's Touch 2x Ultra Cover. I do have primer in the same paint, but I'm choosing not to do that today. I don't think I need to get carried away with it. So I'm just going to spray paint it. And I was gonna use my handy sprayer handle, but I forgot. So I'll just do it old school way. Move my water so hopefully it doesn't get sprayed. I haven't been painting anything outside because it is so stinking hot, but I'm gonna get this done today. So also the nice thing about painting wood versus like if you paint something ceramic or metal is that the paint doesn't run as easily on wood, which is really nice because I am not the best spray painter. Try to get all the nooks and crannies there. This would be fine just as is, but I think for our house, it will stand out a little bit better as black. Try to get up on top, it's hard to see. And I'll probably come out of the shot, I'm sorry. All of my outdoor things need repainted this year, but I didn't do it. I was pretty lazy. So next year is gonna be a lot of work. I've also thought perhaps, like for planters and stuff, when I empty them out this year, I might paint them this fall so they're just ready to go. And the last side. Like I said, you could definitely prime this and you could do a top coat of polyurethane, but I'm not too worried about it. But if you don't want to have to worry about it or don't want to have to repaint it in the future, that would help it to last a lot longer. Okay, so I'm gonna try not to touch that for a second. Let it maybe dry a little bit. Okay, so this is the top. It's just, I don't know who cut this out, but I think it was just homemade. You could easily replace this. So here's my thinking behind it. I am going to use it's 3M product. It's like a really heavy duty command strip. It Velcros together. So I'm gonna use that on 2 sides of this. So hopefully I can remove it in the future if I need to get a new solar light. To attach the solar light, I'm gonna use E6000. It is not necessarily waterproof, but it works for outdoor projects because it isn't affected as much by water. So I'm gonna use that to attach the light to this board. So I'll do that first. And it is not an instant bond by any means. So this is something that once I get it into place, I will probably set something heavy on top of it just to help it create that bond. The other thing that I have found is helpful when I use E6000, also this is super messy, so just be forewarned if you use it. It is messy and globs everywhere. The other thing that I have found helpful, and I might just be making it up in my head, is that I like to put the E6000 on and sort of let it sit for a second to get tacky and have a better chance of adhering. However, I have a really little space to put it on here, and so it's just running down the side. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in place. And I'm just gonna eyeball it here. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Try to eyeball where the center is. And if you saw the other day, I shared the outdoor plant stands and tables that I made. I used E6000 on that as well. So it really is a good outdoor product to use, or somewhere where you're gonna have water and be in the elements. So I have that put on there. I didn't plan this very well. So I'm gonna line this up and kind of see where it sets on the piece. And then I'm gonna put my little tabs in place. So how I'll do that is just lock them together. I have them cut. If you're buying all this from the store, you'll have enough supplies, but I'm just trying to use what I had at my house. So that's why I have just little strips of these. Okay, do it for the other side. I think this will be fine. I mean, the light itself is gonna be heavy enough that it's not going to allow it to like blow off or anything. All right, I'll just pull back the paper. These are super strong. I use them actually I use them in our house. I have a couple of wall sconces that I have up on our fireplace, and I put puck lights in them because we do not have electricity run there, but I wanted to have a little light. So I used these to hold them in place. I'm just gonna take a look at that, make sure it's kind of centered on there-ish, not really, but good enough. Okay, then I'm just gonna give this a good press down to hopefully bond it a little bit. And we'll see, I might have to choose something else to attach this top, but I thought I would just try those first because I can always remove them. If and when this burns out, I want to be able to remove this, and since I'm using the E6000, that would be a little bit harder to get it off of this board. So I always try to think along those lines. How can I, like if a light is going to burn out, or if part of the whatever I'm making isn't going to always work, how can I change that out without ruining the whole thing? So I will try these. Otherwise, I can always get silicone, like caulking will work too, and then when you apply heat to it, it will just peel off. So that is it, super easy. Hopefully you can see this. I'm not gonna move it because it's still drying a bit. I'll move the camera up a little bit. But a super easy project, and if you're handy at all, like I said, I think you could just make this box, and this would be really cute out on a front porch area as well, on either side of like your door, or for holidays or anything like that. So if you have something laying around like this, if you have extra scrap wood, this would be an easy project to do. Just a solar light on top. You can paint it any color that you want. The trucks are being super noisy outside, so that's helpful. And yeah, I will post a picture when this is lit up and has a little bit of juice to actually shine. And hopefully some of you will do this project. If you do, will you share a picture of it and tag me so that I can see? It's a really easy beginner DIY project. That's how I like to keep my projects, and just using things that I already have. But if you have the ability to build it, then you totally should. So I'm gonna go in because I'm sweating. But thanks for watching, everybody.